Good evening, everyone. So, yesterday we learnt about all the basic queries and validations. So, queries, validations, and all. And we need to see ORM approach in MongoDB. For ORM approach, what we have to do is we need to learn about some business logic now. Once we know the business logic, we can implement that ORM approach. So now in your full stack development, you have learned one is a SQL database, another one is non-SQL or NoSQL database. Two. One is structured, another one is structureless. So once we know about this, we have to understand how to implement them in our application. For a full stack developer, what are the basic requirements is in database, you need to have a perfect idea on CRUD operation. Those are enough. Those are important. So even when you are attending interviews as a full stack developer, especially when you are having a resume of UI full stack developer, they will not ask much questions on MySQL and database. They don't ask because they don't even want you to work there. Because usually in companies, specialized database people will be there. And they will take care of everything. As a developer of full stack, you have idea or not, they will just verify. They will just check. Majority, several interviews that you face as full stack developer in UI, you will find very few questions, sometimes not at all asked related to database. Just they ask, do you have any idea? And what is the difference between SQL, non-SQL? What some key important features are there? They will ask only that. But you should have a perfect knowledge of CRUD operations. So those are required for our development. Now after understanding this, now we are going to start working with, we will see ORM with business logic. We have to learn that. For that, we need to understand NodeJS. So we are going to start understanding with NodeJS. So what is NodeJS, how to handle and working. So technically, NodeJS, what is it and how it works, we will see. Already we know basics of it because when you started learning full stack web designing, when you created a project for HTML, CSS, you obviously created a folder structure. Now, what is that folder structure? Public, src, package JSON. You created an environment. For that, you already used a package manager. What is it? NPM. You are using NPM as a package manager. NPM is what? Node package manager. It is Node package manager. So usually when you are dealing with the package manager and when you started building your first project in UI, you have learned a basic about NodeJS. What is NodeJS? You install NodeJS. When you install NodeJS, with NodeJS, you got package manager. What is NodeJS? In the very first sessions of creating project in web designing, you learned a basic point. Why you need Node.js, why you need NPM. Actually, Node.js is an open source and a cross-platform JavaScript runtime. JavaScript runtime used by developers to build web applications, servers, web applications, servers, CLI tools, and scripts. So it is an open source cross-platform JavaScript runtime. So what is the purpose of this? It is used by developers for building web applications, for building servers. So web applications, you know, web applications, already you learned how to build a client-side interactions with HTML, CSS, JavaScript. You are using servers also. You remembered you are using some local server, live server. You installed some server. On server, you are running a web page. Now you can create your own servers. You can create servers. You see when you run your web application, it runs on a port number 5500. It is using local host. So that is built-in servers. We can create our own servers. We can create our own applications. Command line tools means like in your Visual Studio, you have a terminal. In your MongoDB, you have a Mongo shell from where you can run commands. You can control the databases, control the applications. Those are called CLI tools, command line tools. Server-side scripts, servers, web applications, these all you can do by using what? Node.js. So Node.js is used for building all this. It is used for building all this. So developers can use Node.js for this purpose. So we are going to learn about server-side web applications, servers, and the scripts. These three things we are going to learn. Applications, servers, and scripts. CLI, building CLI is not our job. So designing CLI, that is not our job. We are building web apps, we are building the servers, and we are designing the scripts. That is the main purpose of Node.js actually. So when you started learning technology, you have learned about this. First, when you started creating a project, you have this Node.js used. You already installed Node.js, you are already using Node.js, but directly you are not using it. You are using a simple package manager of Node.js. So you see what is Node.js is. It is a free, open source, and a cross-platform runtime environment. So it is an free, open source, cross-platform JavaScript runtime that developers use for creating servers, for creating web applications, for creating command line tools. Another one, what? Scripts. That is the main purpose of this. You already know the meaning of this. Free means licensed free. That means you don't need to buy and use it. You can use it for free. You don't need to buy. Open source means it allows to customize according to your requirements. So you don't need to use exactly how they give you. You can modify according to your requirements. Then it is what? Open source. Cross-platform means it can run on any operating system, any device, any memory, any OS. It can run on every system. And JavaScript environment, runtime environment means it is a JavaScript based technology. That means the language used is JavaScript. Actually, what is the point here is we need to understand here one concept is what is server side scripting. What is server side scripting? Actually, you learned JavaScript client side. JavaScript is used as a client side script. For which purpose you use it? You used JavaScript client side as a client side script. What is the purpose of JavaScript client side? JavaScript is not a client side script. JavaScript is a language. You can use client side or you can use server side. It is not a client side script. You used JavaScript client side for DOM interactions. You use it for DOM interactions. You use it for DOM manipulations. DOM manipulations means adding elements, removing elements, adding styles, changing styles. So dynamically updating data into elements. All these are DOM interactions and manipulation. You use it for BOM, browser interactions, navigation, location, history. For all these purposes, you have used this. BOM is browser interactions. Browser interactions like window, location, navigator, history, these all comes under BOM. And you use it for validations. Validations. That means JavaScript you have used client side for reducing burden on server. so that you will not give burden to server. You will handle interactions client side by reducing burden on server. DOM interactions, DOM manipulations, browser interactions, validations, these are the job of client-side script. There are so many client-side scripts, but the popular client-side script is JavaScript. Actually, earlier we used to have VB script also. VB script, Visual Basic Script. JavaScript is one popular. Now we don't have any VB script, or JavaScript is the popular client-side script we use for handling interactions client-side. So this is client-side. We need a script server-side. What is the job of server-side script? Client-side script job is DOM interactions, DOM manipulations, browser interactions, and what? Validation. That is the job of client-side. What it will do server-side? What is the job of server-side script? Actually, the concept of server-side is actual server-side scripting is a technique where scripts are employed on server in order to generate a response customized for every client request. In order to generate a response customized for every client request. Server-side scripting is a technique where scripts are employed on server in order to generate a response customized for every client request. So actually there are various server-side scripting technologies, like you have PHP, ASP, JSP, and you have NodeJS. NodeJS is also used for scripts, as I told you. Already you can see in their official website, web apps, servers, CLI, and what? Scripts. So many server-side scripting technologies are present. Server-side scripting technologies are present. PHP, ASP, JSP, NodeJS, all these are different server-side scripting technology. A full-stack developer have to learn how to handle client-side and how to handle server-side. Why you are learning NodeJS? Why not PHP, JSP, ASP? Because for that you need another language to learn. JSP requires Java as language. ASP and ASP.NET, this belongs to Microsoft. You need languages like VB and C#. So for in your UI full stack, we have Node.js because it is JavaScript based. So you don't need to learn again a new language. Your JavaScript is enough. We can build server-side scripts. But depending on the client requirements, project requirements, so we choose different server-side technologies. We choose server-side scripts depending on requirements. So there are so many server-side scripting technologies. Actually, even C is also used server-side. We have the first server-side technology called CGI. CGI is the first server-side scripting technology used with a language called C. Actually, what is this server-side scripting is? So this is the user. So we have an user and this is the server. And obviously what happens is you will have some data. Database is present, some database is there. So what is the point here is client sends a request. When client sends a request will come to server. Before it comes to server, we have written JavaScript here. We have used JavaScript here. This script is going to manage the client-side interactions. That means before it reaches server, verifying the data, validating the data, or some interactions which are needed for only client side, like printing the pages, like finding the location of user. All such interactions are done client side. After that, this client-side JavaScript cannot interact with the database. You saw you are using fetch or XML, HTTP, AJAX methods in JavaScript you are using. When you are using them in JavaScript, what happens when you try to communicate? Any client-side technology cannot directly communicate with the database. Even React, Angular like technologies also cannot directly communicate with database. They cannot directly interact with the database. No client-side technology can communicate with database. Client-side libraries, client-side frameworks, client-side languages are only client-side. They cannot interact with database. You saw getting some data from API and all. That is not from database. That is from another script. What is happening now? You have another JavaScript running here. You have another script running on server. Another script is running on server. What this script will do? It will handle the request from the client. It will communicate with the database, get the data from the database, and it will send a response to the client. You need two types of scripts, client-side scripts, server-side script. Client-side script, only client-side. It cannot communicate with database, so it cannot interact with database. So whatever it needs, it has to send to servers. Server side, one script must be there. That is the reason. What is the definition? Server side scripting is a technique where scripts are employed on server. What is the meaning of employed on server? Employee. What is difference between a worker and an employee? Worker and employee. Both are same. I asked a very complicated question. What is difference between an worker and employee? A worker is not having any designated work. Employee have a designated work. Worker don't have a designated work. A worker can do any work, but employee have a designated work. Employee, clerk means only clerk work. Manager, only manager work, right? Suppose a cashier, only cashier work. A developer, only developer. A tester, only tester. Designation. Employees means designated. They have a specific work. They cannot involve in others. They cannot involve in others. They have to do only their work. So scripts are employed on server, and what is their designation? What is their job? Get a request from the client, process that request, generate a response, and send the response. That is the job of server side scripts. Client side scripts cannot respond to the client request by communicating with the database. That job should be done by server side scripts. And we have so many server side scripts like what JSP, PHP, ASP, these are all different server side scripts, different server side scripting technologies. So actually, what is the job of this script server side is handle request from the client, process that request, if necessary, communicate with the database, get the data from the database, and send a response to the client. That is the job of server side script. So usually these all are server side scripting technologies. So NodeJS is also used as a server side scripting technology. Because NodeJS supports scripts, it allows to write scripts which can run on server. Through that they can handle communication with the user. They can handle communication between user as well as the database. That means actually, so what NodeJS can do is, NodeJS allows to write scripts server side so that they can configure a business logic that handles communication between client and the database. Node.js allows to write scripts on server so that they can configure a business logic that can handle communication between client and database. So what is the specialty of Node.js? That means what is the job of Node.js server side? That means what it does. Actually, any server side scripting technology, main job is this: manage the request, process the request, generate a response to the client, handle communication between the client and the database. Then why there are so many technologies? There are so many technologies. Every technology have their own features. What are the features of Node.js? So what is the specialty of Node.js? Where it is used? Where it is not suitable? Why people use Java, JSP? .NET, ASP.NET, PHP, like other, depending on project requirements. So first you need to understand what are the features of Node.js. That means in which situation we can use Node.js, where we can use Node.js, in which situation we can use Node.js, we will see. So features of Node.js, what are the key features? First important feature with Node.js is, the first important feature of Node.js is, it is JavaScript based. It is JavaScript based. Node.js is JavaScript based, so it doesn't require any new language. It uses JavaScript as a language. Generally, other server-side technologies need some languages. JSP needs Java. ASP needs VB, Visual Basic. ASP.NET, it requires C#. So server-side PHP have PHP language. PHP has its own language. So every server-side technology requires a new language to learn. If you are planning to learn any another server-side technology, you have to learn a new language. But what is advantage of Node.js? It uses the same JavaScript that you have learned. So you don't need to put much efforts now, right? What JavaScript you learned, the same JavaScript is used here. So it uses JavaScript. Another major feature about Node.js is, so it is single threaded. It is a single threaded. Single threaded is good and in some occasions not great. Majority of large technologies are multi-threaded. Single threaded is a good, but it is not great for every situation. What is single threaded? What is the specialty of single threaded is, actually, suppose to understand the concept of single threaded, so we have some resources, like this is server. So we have a server, and in the server, so you have some resources. We have some resources on server, like a video or an image or a document, something is there on server. Like suppose we say like a video, there is a video on server. Now many clients have to watch it. That means many users have to watch that video. That means many users have to access that resource. Many people have to watch it. Many people wants to watch that video. Then what happens is, these are clients. So this is client. So this is client. Client is the user. Now what happens is, when client makes a request for that video, what will happen here is, what server will do is, server is going to create one object. Through that object, it will provide access to that video. It is going to provide access to that particular video. That means until the client is watching the video is being watched through a medium, through an object. That object will be there. Once the object is deleted, his communication with video is lost. Video connection is lost. That means he cannot watch that anymore. same video. If second person wants to watch the same video, what server will do is it will create another object for him. That means it will create another object for him. For third, another object for him. That means now what happens is an individual object is maintained for every user. Through that object they will access. So for every request, one object is created. Through that object it provides access. So for every request, one object is created and it is individual for that user. It is individual for that user. Then actually this leads to one problem. Actually this is called what? Single call mechanism. This mechanism is called single call. And this is multi-threaded. Several threads are created in every thread, every process. For one thread, one process, another thread, another process. Now what is problem in this mechanism? If millions of users are watching, millions of objects need to be created. Millions of objects need to be created. If millions of objects are created, then you need more memory. So the point here is sometimes you see, suppose you are watching a cricket match. When you are watching a cricket match at peak hours, last overs, millions of people will try to watch at a time. Then suddenly you will see that it is get stuck. It will not load properly. Sometimes disconnects. That's not good. That means if load is increasing, it is unable to provide service properly. That's not good actually. It should provide. So if number of people are increasing, load is increasing, managing these multiple threads is difficult. So this is single call mechanism. We call this as what? Single call. This is multi-threaded. Instead of that, NodeJS uses, I will save these diagrams I will upload. This is single call. I'll just roughly upload these diagrams to you. This is single call. Instead of this, NodeJS uses another technique. What is the technique is, when a client request comes, what it will do is, it will create an object. Through that object, it will provide access to that resource. Now what it is going to do is, the same object it is used for all. The same object is used for all. That means an object is created for the first request and the same is used for everyone. So this is called as, actually we call this as singleton mechanism. In computer programming, you have single call and singleton. Single call means an object is created for every request. Singleton means an object is created only for first and the same object is used for others. This makes little better. But remember, there are so many other internal techniques also, but this is single thread. That means how many threads are working here? One. One type of client, one thread. Another type of client, another. For every client, a single thread can be maintained. For example, have you observed, suppose you are using OTT channels. Suppose Disney, Hotstar, Amazon Prime, Netflix, you have a subscription, and the subscription allows to share with 4 people. You shared that subscription with 4 friends. Now, do you know you can see what they have watched, how much they have watched, which movie they are recently watching, where they stopped? That is visible to you also. Am I right? But he is using from a different device. He is using from a different device. Then how it is same visible to me also? How it is same visible to me also, right? How I can see that? Same. What he logged in from another device. He logged in a different time. He watched it on a different time. How I can see that same? Because the same object is used for all your subscriptions. That means the same object is used everywhere. It is used everywhere. That means for all your 4 subscriptions, 1 subscription only, 4 devices, object is only 1. So a single threaded environment allows to handle this kind of situation. Just I explained a point, but that is not the actual in general. Technically, it is little different also. We need to understand some more things. But what is the advantage of singleton is an object is created for first request and the same will be used across multiple requests. That is the concept of single threaded. Single threaded. That means it reduces the burden on server. It improves the performance of application. It can manage the load very well. It can manage the load very well. Almost every OTT channel that you watch is designed with Node.js, including YouTube. Including YouTube is using Node.js. Every OTT channel is designed with Node.js. Server side they use Node.js, not JSP or .NET or PHP or Python or not. That is purely Node.js. Every OTT platform, whatever you see, OTT platform, podcastings, everything is Node.js. Node.js. It is single threaded, single threaded. What is the advantage of being single threaded? So single threaded, that means it uses a singleton pattern. It uses a singleton pattern. That means object is created for first request and the same is used across requests. Across requests. So it manages memory. So by reducing overload, it improves performance of application. It improves performance of application. But it is having some drawbacks also. It is having certain drawbacks also. Actually, single threaded is okay if we are not handling many interactions on the resource. If we are not handling many interactions on the resource, single threaded is okay. But if you are doing lot of interactions, then single threaded is not okay. For example, you see, I will save this as singleton, right? So this is a singleton, single call singleton. Okay. Now here another point is, you see, when you are working with this type of environment, generally many clients are connecting with a video. You tell me what they do with the video. What interactions are expected on that video, on that resource? Just watch. Just watching the video. What interactions on that video? You can move seek bar from where you want, pause, play, add subtitle, remove subtitles. How many actions countable? At least 5-10 actions you can do on that video, not much more than that. Am I right? There are no many interactions to do. Even million people are watching a video, they don't do much interactions with it. Then this type of environment is good. For example, you are using a shopping app. In that, millions of people are at a time using it. They are doing lot of interactions. They are searching, they are buying, they are paying, they are doing lot of interactions on that resource. In such cases, NodeJS is not great. In such cases, NodeJS is not great. That means you can use, but it is not great in such environments. That means in one thread, some actions keep in the background. In another thread, do another. One user is doing several things. If one user is doing several things through single thread, it cannot be possible. So you have to have a multi-thread. If one user is not doing several things, he is just doing only one at a time. You are watching the video, you are pausing the video, you are playing the video, you are using the seek bar. It is doing only one thing at a time. Not many actions at a time. But several applications need so many actions in the background. That means you give this, it is doing in the background. You give another work, it is doing that also in the background. You do another work. These kind of interactions are not possible by using what? Single thread. If you are expecting a user to handle several actions simultaneously at the same time, he need to work and do so many things at a time, then Node.js doesn't fit for him. In that situation, what is the best? Other multi-threaded environments like Java, JSP, PHP, Python, Django, they have frameworks now, right? That means they have to use other server side which support multi-threading. Multi-threading is not great for the applications where a single user handles many interactions simultaneously at the same time. They are good when a user is handling only specific, limited number of actions he is performing, then that is good. Many interactions a user is handling simultaneously at the same time, then they have to perform using multi-thread. For example, as you already know, in many occasions of JavaScript also you will learn. Suppose you see, I open calculator. When I opened calculator, calculator is one app. In this calculator app, I am doing 10 plus 20. Now, how many works a calculator is currently doing? I have done 10 plus 20 and result is 30. How many works it is doing? It is doing so many. It's not just 2 or 3. In the background, it is doing a lot of things. It is not 1 or 2. It is doing a lot of things. For example, you have a command prompt. I will show you. This is command prompt. How many works it can do at a time? It can do only one work at a time. But how many works a calculator can do? So many things. It is multi-threaded. And this is single-threaded. This is single-threaded. You can see it. Press Ctrl Alt Delete. task manager. When you go to task manager, you can see there is a details category. We have a details category. Go to details category. You can see that in the details category, command prompt is working. Am I right? Calculator is also working. Calculator is also working. Right click on the field names, select columns, and you select here threads. Make sure that you selected here threads. And observe carefully, this command prompt is using only one thread. You can see it is only one thread. Thread is only one thread. And your calculator app is doing 21 threads at a time. 21 tasks it is doing. And what are those 21 tasks? The person who built it, he knows. For you, visually, it is only one addition it is doing, but internally it is doing so many things. Allocating memory for your value, calculating the values, allocating memory for buttons, allocating memory for something else, some other process. It is doing so many. Visually, you may see that you are doing only 2 or 3 actions, but in the background, so many actions are performed. This is multi-threaded. That means you can see calculator is using 21 threads, command prompt is only single. Because it can do only one thing at a time. dir, only dir, date, only date. It can do only one thing at a time. It cannot do multiple. So, depending on the situation and the requirements, how your application is used, how your resources are used. You need several actions on a resource. You need a user to do so many actions at a time. In the background, so many. Then NodeJS is not good. NodeJS is good for what kind of actions? Single-threaded. Single-threaded actions. That is very good. Single-threaded actions. One of the main ability of NodeJS is what? Single-threaded. Because it is single-threaded, it improves the performance, memory, but it have its own problems. No? What is the problem? Issues later I will tell you. Issues we will see that. So one is JavaScript based. Another important feature is it is single-threaded. Single-threaded. Next important, it is modular. It is modular. Another important feature is modular. What actually in JavaScript you will learn about it. What is modular? You will learn in JavaScript. In OOP concept you will understand about it. Modular approach. One simple concept I will tell you here. Actually, when you are working with any technology, you have a modular and legacy, two important options. What is legacy and what is modular? For example, you are having a JavaScript file, .js file. That means some file .js. In this, you are having 100 functions. You are having 100 functions in a JavaScript file. Now, you want to use this in your project. That means in your page, you want to use out of these 100 functions, you want to use only 2 functions. Out of 100 functions, you want to use only 2 functions. Then what you do generally, you link this file to the page. You link the file to the page. You link JavaScript files, na? CSS files, JavaScript files. You are linking that file to page. That means you are linking of file.js to this page. Why you are linking 100 functions file and you are using only 2? Is it not burden for application? Obviously. You are loading 100 functions in memory and you are using only 2. This is called legacy. We call this approach as legacy. You have a modular approach in JavaScript. Modular means what? It will import only 2 functions from this file and it will use only those functions. It will not load all the functions. It will load only the functions that are needed for that situation. What does this modular? Modular means part by part. Modular means part by part. What is the advantage of modular? What is the advantage of modular? It makes the application lightweight. It makes the application faster. It uses less memory. No? That means modular approach allows to make the application lightweight, faster, less memory. Technically, actually, all software technologies earlier were not modular. Even technologies like Java, .NET also not modular. From past 8-10 years only, they became modular. They are using modular approach. Earlier, they are all legacy type. Even technologies like Java, .NET also legacy type. They started modular approach few years back. Few years means almost now 10 years. Earlier, they were not modular. They are all legacy. And the legacy problem is they import everything, but you are using only few. So modular allows to import only what is needed for the situation. You don't need to import everything. That makes the application lightweight, fast. So one of the specialty of NodeJS, it is modular. Modular means actually modular refers to part by part. So it configures application specific framework. It configures application specific framework. It loads only what is required for the situation. It makes application lightweight and faster. That is another important feature. So it is JavaScript based, it is single threaded, it is modular. So modular approach allows application specific framework. What is needed for that situation, only that will be loaded. Only it will be in the memory. Everything is not included. Only what is being used, it is being loaded. That's better. That is fast, right? Another important is it is asynchronous. It is asynchronous. What is asynchronous? Already you know, in so many occasions we discussed that asynchronous means without blocking a task, it can perform your task. Synchronous means while performing a task, it can block all other tasks. Asynchronous means without blocking a task, it can perform your task. That means even it is single threaded, because of asynchronous, it can manage many tasks. One task in the background, another task in the foreground by using an asynchronous approach. That means it uses unblocking technique. So it can perform any task in background without blocking other tasks in memory. So this also, it improves performance. This also improves the performance of application. This is also one main reason that applications will respond fast. Asynchronous, you will see this asynchronous, how they work. We will see how it is going to use that asynchronous. So it is JavaScript based, it's single threaded, modular, and asynchronous. Another important point is it will not use buffering. It will not use buffering. So buffering, actually it uses a simple caching mechanism, but it will not use much buffering. That is the key point of this. Actually, buffering means what happens is, so here the data is received in the form of memory packets. So it is continuous. It is continuous without break. So it is continuous without break. It is received in the form of packets. So it is continuous without break. Actually, this you can see, buffering is, what happens is, it will not use that buffering mechanism. I hope from how many years you are using YouTube? Since when you're born? Huh? I think when you're born, YouTube is there. You are YouTube kids. Huh? So actually, do you know when first YouTube came? In the beginning of YouTube videos for several years. Recently it changed. For several years YouTube, suppose I am watching YouTube video. So when I am watching YouTube video, it is 1 hour video. And what we can do is, we can pause the video and go out and come back after some time. Then what it will do is, it will buffer the rest of complete video, 1 hour video. Do you know, you can play and watch that rest of the video without internet connection. You experience, na? You all people look young only. You experience means not young, eh? Very old, 90s, right? You are all 90s, 2000s, 2000 born, yeah? Because we, in the early days, we have seen that. Several years we have seen that. Do you know when internet connection is lost, then what happens? You see a spinner comes buffering. buffering will, you have to wait loading, am I right? But these days you don't see that. These days you never see that. What happens? You pause a video, it will pause where you pause it. It will not buffer the rest of video. Either you download and watch the video or watch live. You cannot pause and watch the video. Earlier it is possible. It is possible. Not only that, now if you have observed, when you are watching video on any OTT channels or anywhere, when internet connection suddenly slow down, it will change the quality of video, but it will never stop. Have you observed? Never stops. Video never stops until you completely lost connection. Until you completely lost connection. You see the OTT channels, they never show buffering. Either they are playing or they are disconnected. There is nothing like loading. Have you seen loading? No loading. When internet is slow, then what it will do? Blurred, less quality, low quality video, na? You will see that quality of video slowly improves when your connection speed is high. Am I right? That is memory packets. That means data is received in the form of packet. That means what happens? You are watching a video. This is the memory. This is the memory. You are watching the video. Then what happens? It has to come from some source on server. What it will do? It will send one 10 MB data here. Am I right? This 10 MB data you are watching. This 10 MB data you are watching. When you are watching 10 MB data, this next 10 MB is copied into the buffer. And the next 10 MB is there. Earlier we used to copy entire video into buffer, but now not that. What we do, how much time it is connected, till the connection time, we send data in the form of packets. Once it is disconnected, we stop the packets. We will not send to buffer. That means video will never buffer again. Either you watch it or download it. So you cannot buffer the videos. Earlier it is possible. You can pause the video, rest of video will be copied into buffer. Now if you pause the video, it will stop. It will stop. This is another concept of Node. Actually, when YouTube started using Node.js, this approach started. Now YouTube is completely using Node.js. For their videos and everything, they are using Node.js. They are using Node.js. So data is received in the form of what? Packets, memory packets. That means until the packet is finished, the next set of packet of data is coming. So it will never copy entire rest of the video into memory. So either live, until you connected, it will pass the data. Once you disconnected, it will stop the data. You cannot watch. It will not even buffer, right? So this is the concept of no more buffering. These are all some key features. Technically, internal some features are there that you will understand while learning a technology. These are the main features of Node.js. So Node.js is good for what kind of applications? Node.js is good for applications that deal with buffering, that deal with broadcasting contents. That means broadcasting videos, broadcasting audio. For such type of applications, Node.js is very good. It doesn't mean that it is not used in other places. It is used in other places, but this is the best implementation area. Because in other cases, we expect many interactions by a user, so many interactions he needs to manage in the background, then better we expect a multi. That's the reason you will see Book My Show, IRCTC, like all these people, they use JSP, PHP, ASP like technologies. ASP like technologies. For example, you see here, So suppose IRCTC, these days we cannot see the extensions. I think you will not see the extension. You will not see the extensions. Earlier we can see the extensions, but we don't have those extensions anymore. Yeah, they are not having any extensions. Actually, this IRCTC is built with PHP. It is built with PHP. These days they don't show the extensions. Earlier we used to see the extensions .jsp, .php. Now we have a new routing technique. We don't show. For example, W3 schools is there. Yeah. For example, you see in W3 schools, you are using some HTML. You are practicing something in HTML. You see it is ASP. It is using server-side ASP. ASP, JSP, PHP, these are server-side technologies. That means they are not using Node because a client has to handle so many interactions. So majority of these applications are good, right? So what are the issues? It is not good for multi-threaded application. It is not good for multi-threaded interactions that are required for application. So it is not good for application that requires a lot of data caching. Caching is available, but it is not as multi-threaded applications handle. And these two itself tell so many things because already we know what is multi-threaded, single-threaded, so many points I given here. So that is one of the major issue here. What is the major issue about Node is you can use them, but it is not very good. We are not saying that you cannot use. We are saying that it's not good for them. They can use. That means a shopping application also can use NodeJS. Doesn't matter. But if user base is less, you expect less interactions from the user, then you can go with that. But if you are expecting more, then you have to deal with that. So these are the issues actually, right? So this is one important about Node, right? Now, how do we set up and install Node? That means in Node, what we are going to learn, actually, Node.js is using JavaScript as a language. Then what is there in Node.js to learn? We already know JavaScript. Then what is there in Node.js to learn? Suppose JSP uses Java as a language. Then if you already learned Java, what you have to learn in JSP now? ASP.NET uses C# as a language. If you already know C#, then what is there in ASP.NET to learn? That means actually learning a server-side scripting is all about learning server-side objects. For every purpose, this server-side technologies will provide objects. Learning a server-side technology is learning server-side objects. We have to learn some server-side objects. Some server-side objects, server-side techniques. You have to learn techniques and objects. Actually, client-side, Also you have objects. What are JavaScript client-side objects? JavaScript client-side also objects. You have document object, you have location object, you have window object, you have navigator object, we have what? History object. JavaScript client-side is also objects only. For example, you have used alert, you have used prompt, you have used confirm. This all belongs to whom? This all belongs to window. You have used fetch, you have used XML, HTTP request. All these belongs to window. This all belongs to window. That means you have used inner HTML, inner text. You have used get element by ID, get element by query selector, get by query selector, tag name, class name. These are all document related. That means client side also everything is objects. Server side also everything objects. Learning a server side technology is all about learning server side objects. You have server side objects. These objects will teach you how to communicate with the server, with the client, and with the database. How to handle communication. So what is the key point here? So the key point is server side scripting technology provides a set of server side objects and techniques. Provides a set of server side objects and techniques. Server side objects and techniques that are used to handle communication with client and server, data server. We will see so many. Inside the server, so many interactions, client side interactions, server side interactions we have. So many objects are there. So learning a server side technology is all about learning server side objects. Server side objects. Same like you learned document object, window object, location object. Here NodeJS also have server side objects. Actually, server side objects means, suppose what objects means, you have a request object, you have a response object, we have a session object, we have a application object, you have a server object. So these are different objects. So we have like file stream objects. So many different types of objects. They are used for handling different interactions. So techniques means you have the techniques, so many techniques, like caching is a technique, routing is a technique. These are different techniques. Model binding is a technique. Caching, routing, model binding. So these are all different kinds of techniques. So event binding, all these are different kind of techniques. You have used in client side also. Client side also style binding, class binding, event binding you learned. Data binding, style binding, class binding, event binding, these are all client side. Server side, so many techniques. Learning a server side scripting technology is all about learning this. How do you handle requests? How do you handle response? How do you handle sessions? How do you handle application memory? These all are server-side scripting technology related. Objects and different types of techniques. Now we will see how to handle them. How do you work with them? That means what we are going to learn now is we are going to learn Node.js server objects. We are going to learn about these server objects. How to use these objects, how do we work with these objects? That we'll see in next session. Right, in the next session we will see. And remember, when you learn about these Node.js, when you learn business logic, you will learn some more points about MongoDB. That means MongoDB, ORM, MongoDB related some more functions, how they handle, because through ORM some techniques you will understand. So other techniques you will understand there. There is no issue in that. Okay. Technically now how to use these server side objects we will see how to work with that. That we'll see on Monday. Tomorrow only doubt session again. Tomorrow only doubt session. Tomorrow entire only doubt session. Right? Again our regular session will be on Monday. Okay. Monday will continue. And tomorrow if you have doubts we can have doubt session. So you have the lab people are supporting. I given a support number. Are they responding? Anybody contacted them? You preserved those numbers in your book. Never opened. No. Have anybody tried contacting them? No. So if you have any doubts during your practice, I given Zoom IDs now. Anybody contacted them? No. You don't need a. They need to contact you. Because some people complain, right? Sir, doubts not clarified. Doubts not clarified means I should ask you doubts, or you should ask me doubts. I should ask what doubt. Every weekend we are having a doubt session, right? So do I need to ask you doubts or you have to ask me doubts? That is my major doubt. What is not clarified? So if you have to clarify your doubts, you need to attend tomorrow doubt session and ask the doubts. Okay. Tomorrow we'll continue then. Right. Yes, Naveen. Yes, Naveen.
Yeah, sir. Regarding this Node.js API,
Huh.
okay, so only some
Actually,
instructions.
Node.js is not API. Node.js uses Express for APIs because Node.js requires another middleware and frameworks for handling those APIs and all. Node.js is not API.
Okay.
It requires a middleware like Express.js for handling multi-threaded environments and other interactions like APIs and
Okay. Okay.
all.
Yeah. So one of the clients like the TD Bank,
Uh,
it uses Node.js APIs, which is very rare, and they are also migrating now to Spring Boot. So
okay.
uh, my assumption is like, is it like Node.js API is used only for chatting, or is it only used for YouTube streaming? Or
We discussed today that mostly it is good for applications like audio video buffering,
mm, so
right?
singleton application?
Stream. Many interactions means issues will come, but
Okay.
limited set of interactions you are expecting because see, until or unless their user base is not growing continuously huge, they will not shift to what you said like that, right?
Mm,
So if they have limited interactions, limited user base, then this is the perfect suitable for them actually. All these days they have used and they are now migrating means there will be reason for that.
okay.
All these days they are using, now they are migrating to some other. That means now they have a large base or some more requirements which may not manageable through this node, right?
Yeah.
That is the reason. Otherwise they haven't initiated directly with Spring Boot, no? They
Yes.
are already using it from so many years maybe,
So
right?
pretty much Spring Boot and Spring Boot, like Java is currently being owned by Oracle.
uh,
So how do you see like for a low cost small businesses, how we can see?
because Oracle is a big ERP, it has so many module systems. That
Yeah.
means it have service based module systems like what they do like SAP. Means what they do is for a small business, for small requirements, what is needed for a low cost, they maintain the limited resources also. So it is not like only high level enterprises. So just like you see cloud have a pay as you go, right?
Mhm.
That means you are using more, you pay more. You are using less, you pay less. So it's like that. So even Oracle have that kind of facilities with others. It's not like only for enterprise base. They have for so low cost systems also, compact systems also available with them.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. So we can assume that for all the enterprise applications, most probably where we get jobs, so we will be mostly be using the Spring Boot APIs and
Not just Spring Boot, it depends on different technology. .NET applications can be used. You
okay.
are just talking about only Java. You have Python, Django.
No, does Python APIs are used because Python is mostly used on the data layer, data engineering side. That's what I understood.
Huh. Anyhow, now the trending is that, right?
Okay.
Mm.
So most probably like for the low cost basis, people will move from Spring Boot API to Django, something like that?
Yes, yes. It's not just only cost, because these days even large enterprises also have low cost related resources for them. These days cloud is used by everybody, right?
Mm.
So technologies are now not seized to only large enterprises. They are for medium and small also. They have compact versions for that,
Okay.
right? Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.